everyone, it's Justine and welcome back to day 3 of 12 Days of Christmas. I'm super excited to get started on a card using the little elf stamp from Clearly Besotted. We're going to be using 2 of the elves from this set as well as the sentiments today. So I'm going to get started by stamping 2 of the elves using Memento ink. You can use an acrylic block to stamp these, a CD case, whatever you kind of have to stick them on and stamp them. You definitely don't need the Misty for this at all. Again, my stamp press broke in half and that's why I've been using it lately. I'm going to get started by coloring the elves using Copic markers. You can see all the markers that I'm using there at the top. And I'm just for the skin doing a lot of blending and the rest I kind of left. I find images that are super small are kind of difficult to blend well because if it starts to bleed then it kind of becomes a mess. And I had originally colored this, you can see on the top, and from the bleed through, and unfortunately they were just too dark, so I decided to stick to light colors when coloring the elves, using a YG05 and a YG07 for the green. I decided to keep them light because they just look a lot better. Again, they're small images, so you don't want to lose the detail to dark colors. I'm not doing, again, anything really all that special with them, and that's why I'm putting it on such a fast mode here. So I cut them out using my micro tip scissors, leaving a white space around the images. And I'm going to be starting on my actual card base now, which is kind of the fun part of this card next to the stamps. So I'm just going to be using my A plate, my B plate. I'm going to take a piece of 3 3/4 by 5 1/4 piece of Nina Solar White cardstock at 80 pound. So I put the paper, the die, and then the C plate. Someone had asked me to do that a little bit more slowly in my first video. So remember A, B, paper, die, C. So I hope that helps you for that person that commented on that earlier. I'm doing a partial die cut, which means I'm not cutting actually the whole piece, so I'm doing a partial circle on that card panel there, and you'll see why, because I really love the stitching, so I wanted to use a stitching die. So this is Simon Says Stamp Stitched Circle dies, and using, I think it's the third largest, or the second largest there. And I'm going to be taking my card base, which measures 11 by 4 1/4 inches, and it's scored in the middle or folded in half in the middle at 5 1/2 inches. And you're going to see how I put this card together very shortly. Now, I'm going to be sticking my card panel on the front of the card base in just a moment. I just needed to cut it down to 3 3/4 inches because it ended up being too big. I cut it originally at 4 inches, I believe. And I'm going to have a red panel here and this patterned paper in my card. Both of these patterned papers come from the Snow Dance kit from Create a Smile, which is unfortunately sold out and the paper is not available separately, but you can use any patterned paper. I'm sure you have a load of Christmas paper in your stash, or you can even use, as you can see, this here doesn't even look like Christmas paper, this one here, and red paper will work well for you if you wanted to case this card. So I'm just going to attach this patterned piece into this circle. So again, you don't even need it to be this big actually as it is, but I cut mine so that it fit over the circle and down to the bottom. And then I am going to be, once this is all in the right spot, it did take me a couple of seconds there, which is why I like to use liquid glue, because I have a couple seconds to play if the paper shifts. And then I'm going to add this red strip just along the side here. So now I have my complete card panel, or the front of the card. And I'm going to stick that down using some 3D foam tape from 3M. This card sketch itself can be used really for any occasion, and you could also use it really well for using up your scraps. So next up, I had a couple of ideas here for the sentiment. Originally I was going to do Naughty or Nice, but decided against it. So I decided to do Christmas Cheer for You. And so to do that, I had to stamp the Christmas Cheer on this 3 1/2 by 1/2 inch panel. It's green apple cardstock by Simon Says Stamp. So I stamped Christmas Cheer there, and then I needed to stamp the Just for You. So I put my Christmas Cheer there for placement. And then I picked up my Just for You with the Misty and stamped in green apple ink so it matched the cardstock. And I actually stamped it twice to give it a really, really dark impression. And then all I needed to do was make the banner out of the green apple cardstock here. So you want to make sure you're cutting from the right direction, unlike what I just did. Put a dot in the middle there, about 1/2 inch down with a pencil, and then cut from the corner up to the dot, and you'll create a perfect banner every time. It might take a little bit of practice a couple of times, but you can always do it freehand and save yourself buying a die. So I'm going to attach all of these using some 3D foam tape. And I just wanted to also mention that I had actually cased this card, or I was inspired to do this card by Stephanie, who owns Clearly Besotted Stamps. I was looking for some ideas and inspiration for this set, and I came across one of her cards, which is similar, but I decided to add my own elements, such as the circle, and then I'm going to add some glitter paper and some embellishments as well. And I just wanted to say thank you, Stephanie, for inspiring me to create this card. So I'm just attaching everything, as I said, using some 3M 3D foam tape. And then I'm going to just add some of my embellishments that I decided to spruce up the card with. So the first thing I wanted to spruce up the card with was a piece of silver glitter paper. Now, it did take me a second here to get the glue on because my glue wasn't coming out of my Tombow Mono here. And I just wanted to add that to the side of my card. So using my tweezers for placement, I slid that slowly underneath here between the card and the red. I just thought that it needed a sort of separation between that circle pattern paper and that red pattern paper because it didn't actually flow very nicely. And then I just decided to add a couple of the white enamel shapes. These are also from the Snow Dance kit, but are available separately. And so I have those linked on my blog as well as in the description below if you're interested in getting some of these. I used them in yesterday's video as well for the cranberries on the wreath. And they all come in the same set. So I just added these three here with a little bit of trouble, as you can see. And I always kind of have a difficulty placing things, mainly because like I have them in the wrong way and I have to put my arm in weird angles. Yeah, that's just kind of how I craft. Anyway, and that's the end of today's card. So I just wanted to let you know about the giveaway today. It's a £20 gift certificate to Clearly Besotted Stamps, so it's about $25 US roughly. And you can enter that by leaving a comment on the video here, or you can also leave a comment over on my blog, and there's plenty of other ways to win over on Instagram and my Facebook page. But anyway, just click on the blog. The link below is in the description, and all the ways to win will be listed there. If you're looking for details on the supplies used, you can find them below in the video description or on my blog with direct links to the stores. You can click up at the top there to view those. You can click on the card to see day 2 of the Christmas series from last year, or day 3 rather. And on the right, you can click the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, everyone.